Hey beauties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have created this look today with only luxury product because I truly believe there is a difference when you use luxury product. This is probably easy over £500 worth of makeup. And there's a reason why when you use luxury makeup, your makeup is makeuping. It's going to give you a whole different look. I'm not against drugstore makeup or cheaper brand. I have a lot of them and I love them. I think they just blend in my makeup collection really nicely and it comes down to budget. But I also think that when you go for luxury product, luxury makeup is so popular. The payoff, how it looks and feels on your skin, it's probably there's more skincare into it, there's more silicone, it's going to stay longer, it's going to look a little bit nicer, especially on your base, your foundation. You will see a difference. But today I really want to show you how luxury product make just your skin look flawless. This is the result. So let's get right into it on your skin. So I'm going to start with my Forever Velvet Veil from Dior. This is my true and only one favorite from all time. It's probably the one I use every day. And I think you can't really neglect your base. If you want to save some money, blush, lipsticks, eyeshadow, but base, it's really hard to cut corners because it's going to peel, it's not going to stay, it's going to be patchy, and it's also your skincare. So all of this together is already quite pricey. So I'm going for a soft neutral makeup today. Second, I'm going with my Forever Glow Star filter from Dior. I'm using shade number 2. This is very, very similar to Charlotte Tilbury, but I think in between the two of them, I prefer the Dior because it's got more skincare into it. It feels more hydrating on the skin. But then it comes down to your preference because I think the result is exactly the same as Charlotte Tilbury. The Dior one is a little bit more expensive, but they're both really, really nice. But because I have a dry skin, I prefer to use the Dior, but it's really just preference. For my foundation, I think this is probably one of the best foundation of all time. Not cheap, obviously, but it's got that airbrush finish. It's packed with natural ingredients and it just stays in place the whole day without becoming patchy or drying up or being too greasy or moving. This is literally one of the top foundation you can have. This is from Guerlain. It's le Terracotta, le Teint, and I am using shade 2.5 neutral. So, and it's quite thick, so it's going to give you that medium to full coverage. It's buildable, and it's also it just breathes. It doesn't feel heavy on your skin. It's very light. It is literally one of the best foundation. So you see instantly, it keeps the radiance and the glow, but once it's set, it's just that really airbrush finish. So that means you don't have to use too much powder. In terms of concealer, I always like to mix two. So I always go for a shade that is the closest possible to my current skin color, skin tone, with just a little bit lighter and something that is much lighter to bring brightness and luminosity in the corner of my eyes. So I'm gonna place my Hourglass Vanish. I'm using shade Creme or Cream. And I'm going to let it sit. So I'm going to place it right here. And I'm gonna let this one sit onto the skin while I apply the other one from, this is Eyeshadow and it's the Skin Synchro Skin, I'm sorry. And it's shade 203 Light So it's a light shade. And this one, I will place it just here under. Same on this side. And as you can see, I never come super high under my under eye because I like to keep the shadow under, and you're limiting the creasing. There's basically no creasing if you don't come super high, because that's where the your mobile lid will move. You've got a little bit of fine lines, and this is all super normal. But if you don't put any product there, there's no creasing. So just like so. So I'm gonna spread it and come all the way to the side for that lifting effect. See, already you can see it's really lifting the side of the face. Like that. Same thing onto the other side. I like the texture, it's very creamy, but not too creamy that it's not going to set. It's a gorgeous product. So see, it has brought a lot of luminosity already under my eye. And it's very clean, it's lifting, it's very radiant, and it's matching perfectly the foundation. Then I'm using, so I'm going to, I know my concealer is still there, I know, and I'm going to let it sit for a little while. I'm going to contour my nose, so I am using the contour stick from Westman Atelier, and this is shade Biscuit. It is the small format because I like to bring it with me. Just come onto the side, just like so. And I'm gonna smudge it just nicely with my fingers, and I always come onto the side here on both sides of the eyes where your nose kind of meet the eyebrows. It is giving that narrower nose. Voila. So that's nose contour done. Then I'm using the same product just to contour a little bit my cheeks. And I don't want to add too much because I really like just a soft contouring. Too much contour makes you look older because it's very severe, it's very straight lines. Unless you have a very round face, then you'll need more contouring. But if you're like me, you have an oval face, long, you really don't need too much contour. Unless your skin is much darker, then you'll have to add a little bit more, but then it's just the color. You'd go for a much darker shade. So just like this, and you can already see it's really defining the cheek, just under the bone here, and there's no need for more. Now I'm going to add a little bit of liquid blush. I absolutely love this one. This is from Giorgio Armani, and it's shade 53. It's the Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. These are new. They are at the top of my list when it comes to liquid blushes or cream blushes. It stays all day, it doesn't move, it doesn't fade away. It's a gorgeous product, and it's very luminous. It's just giving you that glow from within. It's beautiful. So I'm using this one as my base. So I'm gonna apply it on the back of my hand because I don't want to go directly on my cheek. So I've got some here, and it's a very neutral color. So just like so. And it's a good color payoff. As you see, I didn't put much, and you already see the shade. And I'll come with my powder on top of it anyway, but I want to make sure that the product really stays, the makeup stays all day, so I always go with a cream application first. So same thing onto the other side. Load up my brush with it, and then come on my cheek. And even because you're now using a cream product, if you go too high, too low, it's quite easy to correct. You just add a little bit of foundation or concealer and you're good to go. It's just giving that really nice pinch of color. Now I'm going to smudge the concealer. So I'm going with my initial brush for my concealer. And I'm just going to come in the inner corner. Again, I'm not gonna go super high. Just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing onto the other side. And then I'm going to use my finger, you'll see. Because I really want the product to be melting onto my skin and just keep the brightness. And I'm coming quite low because that's where I want all the brightness to be. And as you blend it, it's just going to melt onto your skin and it's creating that flawless under eye. And I come here on the side of my nose because I have some darkness naturally. Just like so. Now I'm coming with my blush. Just coming over, making sure it's all smooth. There's no line. Like that. So we have brightness in the inner corner. We have our blush and it's literally crease proof. All right, now I'm going to spritz with my setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. About like 3 pumps to do the whole face. Okay, 4 pumps. Now I'm gonna let it dry and let it sit. The setting spray is set, so while it was drying, I filled up my eyebrows off camera. I am using Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Eyebrow Powder, Brow Powder Duo, I'm sorry, in shade Soft Brown. And I am using, from Anastasia Beverly Hills as well, the Clear Brow Gel. So it's a clear gel that just sets your eyebrows in place, and honestly I think it's the best. It doesn't peel, it just stays in place, but enough that you know it's not going to move, but then it's easy to remove at night when you're taking your makeup off. Now I'm going to set my under eyes with the old version of the Prisma Lip from Givenchy. I have ordered the new one to compare them, so I should be receiving it beginning of next week. I'll make sure I upload a review for you guys. So I'm coming and I'm using a little loose brush. I need my mirror to do that. And I'm just, with small motion, tapping it under my eye. So that way there's no creasing. And I'm keeping the product in place, I'm keeping the brightness, just like so. So you can see already the difference. It takes away all the shine, but it keeps the brightness in place. And it makes it really smooth under your eye. That's another thing, you know, with setting powders. I think there's definitely a reason why you'd pay a little bit more, because they really just work. I have not tried any dupe. Actually, that's not true. I have one from Maybelline, the Fit Me, but it's not a setting powder. And it really works. It's a bit like I would compare it to the Hourglass, the new Vanish powder. It's very similar, so I think that you could save money there. Then on the rest of my face, I will be using the All Hour Hyper Finish powder. It's a compact powder from YSL. I'm using it with a flat brush. I'm not using it with the sponge. I really don't like the application with the sponge. And I'm just gonna come right down here. Same onto the side. So basically just where you have on your T-zone and where you have pores that are a little bit larger, because I don't want to take away the glow from the Dior Star filter, because otherwise there's literally no point of having a glowing base if you're going to mattify all of your face. So you still have that really nice glowy radiance coming through, but the center is matte. I want to contour with the powder where I've put my creamy contour from Westman Atelier. So I'm using the Nudegasm face palette from Tilbury. Got an angle brush, and I'm just gonna come just a little bit. The trick is not to add too much, because otherwise you'll definitely have a big line. Just like that. Make sure you blend it well as well. And I barely have nothing on my brush. And I like, so when I do my contour, come here on the cheek quite low, and I like to just come down just here a little bit. So you keep the volume around the mouth to keep that kind of younger look. But you also want to have some definition, like that. I'm going to do the same on the temple. Just here. So it's really giving you that lifting effect. And when I say lifting effect, it's because you have your concealer here in the middle. Here, you'll have your contour, your darker shade on the temple, and then you have your blush here, so it's really going onto a lifting motion. We did the contour. It's really nice. It's looking very contoury. I'm adding some bronzer, and I'm using the one from Dolce Gabbana. I'm obsessed, literally, I am obsessed with the Dolce Gabbana collection. I've been using them on repeat. I love, love, love each product. So this is shade 101 Light. I've got a loose brush, and I love the shade of this bronzer because it's like a sandy, like blonde sand bronzer. It's not too dark. It's just giving that a little bit of warmth to your skin without being like, oh, she's got a very big bronzer on her forehead. And it's packed with hydrating ingredient, so it just really gives that nice effect to your skin, like it's hydrated, like so. And voila, so we've warmed up the forehead just a little, just a bit on the cheeks, so you kind of make it uniform. There's no line, there's no harsh definition of where it starts and finish, because we're blending everything into each other. And I think that's the advantage when you're using a luxury product. Most of them will have similar ingredients, so it's easier. It makes the application a bit easier. For my blush, I am using Giorgio Armani Beauty. all in the Luminous Silk collection, and this is shade 52. Look how pretty this pink is. This is like a bubblegum pink. You don't need too much, and it just fits perfectly with this blush. I'm gonna come just here, more on the apple of the cheek. Just like so. So it's giving like just a pop of color. Also, when you apply your blush, try not, we used to, you know, smile and they tell you when you smile, you apply here. But once you stop smiling, it's way too low on your face. So if you're still doing this, you might want to try and keep your face relaxed and neutral. And the application will be spot on. Now I want to add some highlighters. I'm going to use the one from Tom Ford from the summer collection. I did a full review on the Tom Ford summer collection. It's such a beautiful one. Honestly, especially the highlighter, it's gorgeous. If I'm not mistaken, it might still be available. So I've got my Rare Beauty blush for my highlighter, and I am going to add it just a little bit here and here, so kind of a V shape, just like that. It's almost like it's wet. It's beautiful. The trick with the highlighter, you don't want to add too much. It just has to be wherever, when you turn your head, the light catches and it has that really nice glow and reflection. And I always like to add just a little bit here, where you have that bone here between the temple and the forehead. So it's kind of naturally a little bit more prominent. And it's one of the places where naturally it will catch the light. Just like that. And with my finger, pick up a little bit of product and just a little bit on the bridge of the nose. Just like that. Nothing too crazy. When I look at straight in front of me, you don't see anything, but if I move, then you'll see a little bit of highlighter. That's all you need. For my eyes today, I'm going to use my palette from Natasha Denona. I need a nude palette. So I'm going to go for something that is quite subtle, neutral, but very glam, very chic. So I'm using shade Fair to start as my eyeshadow base. I'm gonna bring my mirror here close. And I have added eyeshadow primer. I'm using the one from Urban Decay. I just love how it really makes the eyeshadow stay in place the whole day. So that's shade Fair that I'm using as my base to unify the color on my eyelid, because my skin is very thin and you do see all the little veins. It doesn't really have any color into it. It's like a very, very light, it's not even pink, it's more like skin colored. That's really nice. I absolutely love the palette from Natasha Denona. The quality is unbelievable. Her products are made in Italy and you can really tell by the quality of the product. It's very close to the Dolce Gabbana. I think Natasha Denona has a little bit more into her eyeshadow palette, but Dolce Gabbana is a second close. Like, it's very, very, very similar in terms of how good the product is holding, the feel, the texture, the powder product that is. Now I'm going to use shade Tender here, end of my eye, change my brush for something that is much more small and flat. Basically, you're adding some shadow and dimension. So I don't want to do anything too crazy. I want something that is for daytime. So I'm not gonna go like all over. There's no need for it. You just gotta keep the application quite soft. It's just a very easy look, but it's a very soft look that I think anyone can pull off. With the same shade, so Tender, I'm using my same brush and coming under my eye, just like so. So you add a little bit of a shadow under your eye, and that's why I never bother putting my concealer super high, because you don't want to have your concealer there, you want to have a shadow. If you don't have a shadow under your eye, it's going to make your eye and your cheek look really, really flat, and it's not the most flattering look. You need to have a shadow under your eye to create that dimension under. For my crease, I'm using shade Vague, so it's kind of a pink, this one here. I'm gonna come and just apply it right onto the crease, just like so. And you're really just blending all the shade together. So there's no harsh line. Oh, it's a beautiful shade. Just like it. So it kind of finishes the makeup a little bit better. If you compare the two eyes, this is nicer. It all blends in very nicely. Same thing onto the other eye. And you really don't need much product. You're really just blending a little bit of powder. Just like so. I really like this brush. It's from Real Technique and it's a definition creasing brush, but because of the shade, it's just perfect to go into the crease and have that very diffuse look. It's not gonna make a sharp line onto your crease. Depending on the makeup you're doing, sometimes you do wanna have that very strong, defined crease. But for me today, that's really not the goal. And last shade I'm using from the palette is shade Sheen. So this one, it's a shimmer shade. Got a very small flat brush because I like to bring luminosity, just like that. Come closer, you see it here. Just like that. So eyes I finished. I did my eyeliner and my mascara off camera. I'm using my Tom Ford eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, and the mascara I'm using the Dolce Gabbana Everfull XL, and I'm using the primer from Chanel, so it's Prime and Care from Chanel. I really just like to protect my eyelashes before I apply my mascara. And I feel like it adds a nice coat of volume before you go in with your mascara. I do like to have a thick eyelash. That's just personal preference, but that's the look I like. Onto the final piece. I'm going to use my lip liner from Chantecaille. This is shade Discreet. They call it the Lip Definer. I love this shade. It's kind of a nice berry, but not too dark. So, overlining my lips. Just like so. Same thing at the top. And now I'm going to use my lipstick from Valentino. I love this shade. This is part of the nude collection. It's the matte lipstick Roso Valentino, and it's a shade 107A. I'm not sure if it's, I feel like there might be another number, but no, 107A. And it's the matte collection. Look at this shade. It's absolutely stunning. It's very luminous. It just brings that, it just creates a nice full lip. It's matte, but it doesn't dry your lip. Just like so. It's a beautiful shade. You really just match perfectly the lip liner. And the final touch, I'm using my Hourglass finishing palette. So this is Radiant Light Ambient. I think it's number 1. I'm not sure because it's not written at the back. So I always mix the 3 colors, the 3 shades together on my loose brush. And I come just here on the side, and I like to kind of blend, you know, blush and bronzer, and so there's no line, but this palette just creates the nicest finish. It's kind of it blurs the pores, it blurs the skin without adding too much shine or shimmer, or it just gives the best finish. So that's it. That's the look that you get if you use only luxury makeup worth of clearly over £500 or $500. I guess the price is very similar. Easy enough for you to recreate at home. I'm assuming you could probably recreate that with different product. I think the difference with using luxury product is how long the makeup will last and the color payoff and the texture, because luxury product will use more silicone. They'll probably have more skincare into it as well. So these are factors not to be neglected when you're choosing your makeup product. Obviously, your budget has a massive impact. That's the main driver for choosing in between products. But I think if you are able to afford some of those luxury products, you're probably gonna have more for that same price. Sometimes it's just a matter of making better choices, more educated choices. And that's why I'm posting reviews for you guys, so you know which product works and is really worth the money. Some luxury products are really not worth you spending any money on it. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. I think this is kind of an all year around makeup. You could easily wear this for an evening. I wear this makeup today because we're hosting. So I always like to, you know, bring things a little bit up a notch. But I'd be very comfortable to wear this during the day. Or you could just dim down the lip, have a nice gloss, and that's it. That would be a daytime wear makeup. So let me know what you think. I will list all the product that I have been using for today. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And you can also follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. A big thanks for watching.